Uh, okay, perfect. I moved the camera in the middle on the left here, that way it doesn't block crucial information that I might need to explain today. Just to readjust my camera, sorry. Okay, so good morning everyone. Turtle Lags here, bringing you another Reverse 1999 video. And I figured that, one of my real life friends from Brazil, he started Reverse 1999 about 3 days ago, actually. And I figured that, with all the questions that he was asking me, not many questions, but they were very good questions regarding how to optimize the gameplay experience and also what to work on first. I think for those of you who are starting this game, maybe you were attracted to this game based on the time traveling concept. Maybe you love the music, the artwork, the character design. Maybe you love the fact that this game takes place in a different country every single patch, like the UK, the US, doing a spin on American horror films. Next patch 1.3 is going to be taking place in India. Version 1.4 will be taking place in Greece, version 1.5 in Australia, and not to mention the cast of characters, how they all represent different countries, portraying them, in different lights, even if they're from the same country, like Italy or the UK, there's a bunch of different personalities here, and I think that is one of the biggest draws for this game. Not to mention the story. The story is fantastic. So, as someone who has played this game since day one, back in October 26th of this year, I feel that I am in a position where I've gone through the entire main story, the endgame content, and it is time to share some of my experiences with those of you who are picking up the game or who are looking for someone else's insight as to how to take their game to the next level. So right off the bat, my first tip would be, when you get to the starting screen, try to switch to a character that you most likely will never use, such as a 2-star or 3-star character. I'm going to pick Radio in this case. She's a 2-star character. Now the reason I'm doing this is because in this game, most people are going to be free-to-plays. And as a free-to-play player, this game, I would say, is very character pool generous, but resource stingy. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that when you pull on characters, unlike other gacha games like Honkai Star Rail and Genshin, where you need to reach like 70 pulls to hit like soft pity and 90 pulls to hit hard pity, in this game 60 is actually the soft pity, and for every subsequent pull after that, you actually have an increased chance of getting a 6-star that increases quite significantly. And then the 70th pull, you're guaranteed to get a 6-star. 6 stars are the highest rarity in this game. Most players who play this game will be playing like 5-star and 6-star comps if they have enough characters for that. But anyway, so that's why I bring out Radio, one of the 2-stars, because in this game, one of the ways to get the orange drops, the resource that you use to pull on your characters, is actually by spending orange drops, and you need to spend 180 orange drops per character pull. When you increase the bond level for characters, and you can raise your bond level, get closer, become closer friends with your characters by playing them in the game or placing them in your wilderness, or in this case, interacting with them in the home screen, which I'm about to do right now to increase Radio's bond. So that's what I recommend doing, and then you can always go back to the home screen and swap to your most favorite character. Like in my case, I really like Druvis. Druvis is my second favorite character, so maybe I'll swap to her, and you can select your character design Basically, the character designs, as you progress through the game, you can get alternate versions of their character art by insight toing these characters. Basically, one of the ways that you increase the level cap of your characters is by inciting them, and that requires using a specific amount of materials and reaching a certain level. So like each character can incite up to 3 times. So most people will probably, especially free to plays, will kind of use insight to level 50 as a stopping point. But some characters like Druvis, like say like Sotheby, or say like Voyager, are going to really appreciate going that extra mile to insight 3 in that character. But that's not something that I really want to emphasize right now, but something to keep in the back of your mind as you progress through the game. What I'm going to try to do with this video is prioritize the most important things to do in the beginning, followed by the most important things to work on towards the end. That's how I will categorize it. So let me go ahead and switch back to radio. As a free-to-play, I would highly recommend doing this because at 40% bond you get 30 orange drops. 60% bond you get 50 orange drops. Oh no, I'm sorry. 40% bond, 30 drops. 60% bond, 40 drops. 80% bond, 50 drops. And 100% bond, 60 drops. I hope that made sense. Hopefully what I thought came out of my mouth. All right. And then, so this is kind of like your home screen. As you can see, I'm a pretty high level, but this is because I'm max refreshing. I think most free-to-plays by now would be around like level 42 to 45 based on who I see in my friends list. So far you can add people as friends, but unfortunately we don't really have a mechanic or anything in game that incentivizes you to add friends. But in the first questionnaire that this game ever released, they did ask about if we want something to do with friends. So I'm pretty sure that down the road they will add something, implement something here. Okay, so when you log in, you'll get resources. I think in most people's case they will this is actually, I think, from the monthly pass, which is like $4.99 or $5.99 if I recall correctly. And then each time you log in, you're going to get a certain resource, whether it be like 20 wilderness shards, which actually is what I got today. These resources, they don't do much for the game, but like in terms of progress, but they're a welcome addition. And not to mention, each character has a birthday. So if we go to birthdays here, Eternity's birthday's coming up, so this kind of incentivizes you to show up on specific days, because when you actually log in on someone's birthday, you get a purple island piece, purple wilderness piece, and I'll show you the wilderness in a bit. Wilderness is the way that you craft items and generate passive income, such as in the forms of Sharpodonty and the dust that you need to like level up your characters, level up your Psychubes, which is weapons in this game. Lots of uses for them. Yeah, so and then what's cool is that every time you log in, it kind of offers a little trivia here. Sometimes it'll be trivia on real-life events, because this game does put a creative spin and rewrite stories for real-life past events, such as the Roaring Twenties, or like the Rimmet Cup that was stolen in the UK back in whatever time. Yeah. So to interact with the character, you can.
Thanks to your careful maintenance.
So you notice how the bond increased. Each character on the home screen can increase their bond 5 times. So I'm just going to keep spamming her interactions until I get 3 of those. So I'm on the 3rd. Okay, that's the 4th one. Sometimes if you click fast, the 5th one will occur, or the 3rd one will occur without it showing up. But in this case, all 5 of those bonds increased. So that's very
I
nice.
hope you will not
Now,
be
as a
one
new
Psychube.
player, you got your dailies, and today happens to be Monday, so the weeklies reactivated as well. As you notice on the left-hand column here, you're going to get these resources. Go ahead and claim these items. You notice how there's like a 0 out of 1. So I did claim a 1 out of 1 criteria that I met, and I gained 1 point here. When these completely fill with orange bars, you get the reward on the right. And the ultimate goal, really, in my opinion, is to get this for sure, because this is the resource, these clear drops, to do your pulls. And I think that the next, of course, you'll be able to within 10 minutes get all of this most of the time. And these enlightened 2s are the ways to level up your Psycubes, which are your weapons in this game. Yeah, and these are actually resources that it's best to gain them passively instead of farming for them in the stages, just because as I'll tell you later, there's a trick you can do to gain those passively. Alright, so now that I've gone over that, here we also have the Roaring Jukebox. So, they incentivize you to log in, use 100 cellular activity, which is your stamina in this game. Pneuma Analysis, so clear 2 Pneuma Analysis stages. I'll show you that in a little bit. This is something that you will want to do every day in order to maximize the resources you can get in this game. Claim resources in the wilderness 3 times. We're about to do that. The wilderness is kind of like your home base where you can place your characters to increase their bond level percentages, as well as to, gain passive income from the buildings that you level up. Go ahead and gain this. And Roaring Jukebox also resets weekly as well. And the rewards are really nice. In my case, the bottom collector's edition, I believe it's $19.99 or $24.99. And they offer you fantastic rewards. So, if you're a low spender who wants to support this game and who also wants a lot of resources, as well as to get the brand new skin, the Beacorn Bloom skin in this case. Every Roaring Jukebox comes with a limited edition skin that you can acquire for famous 5-star characters such as Beacorn Bloom, or during the previous patch, Charlie. So these are really cool skins that you can get in the game if you get the collector's edition. And I would say the resources are very, very much worth it if you want to support the game. Mind you, this is BluePoc's very first game ever, and they are off to a fantastic start. The storytelling is on another level. I would say pretty comparable to Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact, which is a big compliment for a new company like BluePoc. Yeah, so that's the Roaring Jukebox. And let me see here. So let's go over the things that you should be doing every day. So, first things first, if you are a brand new player, you do want to go through the main story. So the main story, currently we have 4 main chapters. You'll start off with just this one to unlocked, and as you progress through the story, you'll encounter, you'll go through the story, learn about the characters, and then you notice these stars here. These stars, this is for the story mode, and then once you clear the story, then hard mode will be unlocked. And you'll notice down here that when you unlock the story mode and the hard mode, there's resources you can get. It shows the possible resources, but if you click on it, there's even more possible resources to farm. And this is where it is very, I would highly recommend that as a new player you complete the main story. There's 4 chapters in the main story, and as you get through certain checkpoints during the story, you're going to be unlocking certain features in the game, such as the ability to create your wilderness, or say to get buildings for the resources, or I want to say even like, I'm trying to remember if I got portraits from Sonetto, one of the main characters in the game, through this. But anyways, all content creators will recommend that you get through all the stories. I don't want to spoil anything here. I guess this isn't spoiling too much, but basically the final level will be, for the main story right now, as of this recording, would be stage 23, and then this is where you get the final, or I think it was 21, that stage 21 that you get the final wilderness piece. Anyways, clear the main story. Yeah, and actually if I go to my profile here, yeah, 423, this is the final stage. Alright, so now that we've gone through that, midway through the story you will unlock something called Pneuma Analysis. I should probably show you Psycubes first. Psycubes are the weapons in this game. So as you can see, these are examples of different Psycubes. If you're curious about which Psycube to pick up first, you should pick up Brave New World. And Brave New World and all the other Psycubes you can buy in the bank, in the, which one was it? Yeah, in the Fragment Shop. So the Psycube Shop, these are the equipments you can use in the game. So I would recommend Brave New World because for most players, especially free-to-plays, your greatest source of damage will come from your ultimate. And in addition, how should I say, kind of the bonus effect is after the character carrying the Psycube casts an ultimate, incantation might of the next incantation plus 20%. Incantation are basically like your skills in the game. So you get like 2 incantations, 2 skills, and 2 ultimates per character. So this is just, you will always get value from this Psycube. So I'm actually thinking about possibly picking up another one, although I'll probably save for a copy of every single Psycube, but Brave New World, fantastic value. If you could run this on both your damage dealer and your main support, you know, like it's entirely a viable thing to do. Yes. Okay, so we've gone over that. Let's go over the wilderness real quick. Okay, so in the wilderness you can do 3 main things here. You can gain bond for your characters in the wilderness. As you progress through the game, as you buy more wilderness pieces with the wilderness shells, you'll be able to add more pieces and expand the scope of your the dimensions of your wilderness. And then every time you add pieces, island wilderness pieces, you gain vigor. And then increasing your vigor at certain checkpoints, such as in my case, if I can increase my vigor to 2500, then my resource output will increase by 1%, and then my character capacity will increase by 1. So currently I can place up to 12 characters. I think in your case you can place 8 characters in the beginning, and then as you add more pieces, you'll be able to add more characters, which allows you to have more characters passively raising their bond levels, and then therefore more orange drops, right? It's really awesome. And then you can edit your wilderness by going here. Yeah, and speaking of wilderness pieces, I remember a lot of content creators in the beginning were saying not to buy wilderness pieces, but in the event shop, which I'll show you in a bit. But I'm of the opinion that given how little orange islands and gold islands that you get from the game, like you see, like I've bought out every single island piece, and we're in version 1.2 already, and I don't have enough orange or gold wildernesses to really just bedazzle out my wilderness. I still need to use some purple pieces, which are in your free-to-play case. I think those are going to be your best pieces. unless you for some reason don't buy any wilderness pieces. Or I don't know. But anyways, the purple pieces, like I mentioned, you can get these passively by logging in and getting the birthday wilderness pieces. Each character has their own birthday wilderness piece, and those most likely you will place down in the character zone or in the wilderness. Yeah, so in terms of bond level, so you see here the purple islands give 8 vigor. The blue islands, oh yeah, these are the birthday pieces. Oh, the birthday pieces add 9 vigor. So actually I did not know that. So actually I could min-max this a little bit more. Yeah, and unfortunately, by default, the initial pieces have to be blue. But yeah, as you notice here, I totally ignored using blue pieces because... Oh, wait, no, I'm reading this wrong. These are the number of pieces I own. I'm sorry, I take that back. But anyways, so the blue pieces I think add like 6 vigor, purple 8, gold 10, and orange 12 vigor respectively. So you should always be putting, if you see like orange or gold piece wilderness pieces in the event shop, you should really be picking those up first. In every patch, you'll get wilderness pieces 2 different ways. You can either get them from the event shop, or you can get them from the regular shop. The regular shop will have additional pieces. And then in addition to pieces, island pieces, there's also buildings. I'm of the opinion too that you should always try to get all the buildings, gold, orange, or even purple. Just grab them all, because honestly, like, so island pieces you're capped up to like, I think the amount. So this is actually another reason why you should finish the main story mode first, because I think when you progress through the main story, you do bring your cap all the way to 120. I don't think there's additional ways to increase the capacity at this moment. So I have currently 120 wilderness pieces up, but the buildings, like you see this Ferris wheel, it only takes up like maybe 2 or 3 spaces, and you're not going to have more buildings than wilderness pieces, so you really should grab all the buildings if you can, because that will allow you to increase your vigor even further. And actually it shows the vigor value on the bottom right, and I'm curious as to if it shows the vigor level. Oh, okay, well this is just the vigor level of all the pieces combined. So 64 divided by 8 is 8. Yeah, so 8. And then 72 divided by 9 is also 8. Yeah. And then for the oranges, well, I used up all the oranges, so I can't show you. But yeah, that's it about wilderness there. Oh, there's a little bit more. So one of the other reasons why you want to clear the main story is because you will be able to you'll be able to level up your Paleo Hall. Currently the Paleo Hall for both the Dust Bell Tower... Hey Leo! Welcome, you're in this video right now. So actually, I think towards the end I probably will ask you some questions, because I think any questions you may have will be what a brand new player may ask as well. Hey Shalom, thank you for joining. So far for this video I've gone over bond levels, and then getting orange drops from them, and then also progressing through the main story to basically maximize all the things that you can get, such as being able to have a Paleo Hall that can do everything. With regards to the Paleo Hall, you can craft different things. So as you can see here, you can collect the dust and the Sharpodonty, dust, Sharpodonty, and you at some point in the story unlock the Wishing Spring. And as you progress through the main story, you can have the ability to say like level up. These dolls here are what allows you to level up your Sharpodonty market and your Dust Bell Tower to further increase their resource generation. Yeah, but the Wishing Spring, you're able to craft different materials, which allows you to increase the insight level of your characters, perhaps, leveling up the resonates, which is another way that you increase the power level of your characters, like increase their crit rate and that sort of thing. These are resources to level up your wilderness buildings. Resonate materials resonates the way that you level up your character. So, this one you'll use sometimes. And then Psychubes, like I mentioned, to basically every time you hit certain caps for your Psychubes, which are the weapons in this game, you'll hit like a hard cap, like level 40 in the beginning. So you use these polarizations to increase the cap of the Psychube so you can bring it to level 50, and then you'll use another polarization or whatever to increase the cap to level 60. Yeah. So that's the wilderness for you. Very important part. Do not neglect this. Whenever you can, just like when you place your characters, check on their bond levels. Like I told you before, the magic numbers are 40, 60, 80, and 100 to get 30, 40, 50, and 60 orange drops respectively. And so I'm always, checking, min-maxing. I only place characters that I don't plan on ever using, just because, like in my case, for instance, I'm just using 5-star and 6-star characters. So that's the wilderness for you. I'll go ahead and show you a Pneuma Analysis. I believe it's in... correct me if I'm wrong, Leo, but I think it is in story mode stage 2 that you're able to actually do to unlock this Pneuma Analysis. Pneuma Analysis here, every day you'll get 2 free runs here, and I actually intentionally filmed this video right as I logged in because I really wanted to show you this. And for those of you who are curious, the highest level Pneuma Analysis currently is Pneuma Analysis 7. So if you can strive towards unlocking that, you will maximize the Pneuma Analysis rewards that you get. So, if you were to do the inefficient way where you actually use stamina to farm this, you will only get 2 of these thoughts in entirety. You need 210 of these in order to get the discounted Psychubes, and if you want to buy like multiple copies, then you'll need to spend like 300 of these. So these are very rare, and only getting 2 of this, it's really sad to spend stamina on this, so never do that. But if you get so special drops in-depth analysis chances 2. So remember how you get like 2 free chances per day. You don't want to skip this. But it's very common for even people like myself to accidentally skip it. I personally have not, but I think almost every content creator has accidentally skipped this at one point. So, every time you log in, brand new day, don't forget this, because if you use the 2 free Pneuma Analysis runs, you get a total of 10 of these. And actually, if you do 2 of them, then how should I say? Yeah, that's a lot. And plus you get like extra of these as well. And I gotta tell you, Enlightened 2s are very hard to come by, just because you wouldn't normally farm the stage like you would other stages. But don't worry, I will go over ways to get these, because I remember in the beginning when I first started this game, man, these were in short supply. And actually, now that I am 10 away from buying another Psychube, I can actually show you the shop and how I use all the resources I get from this. So let's go ahead and do the Pneuma Analysis. So one of the cool things about this game, and Honkai Star Rail and Genshin does this too, is that there's a replay feature. And actually with the latest patch, now you have an autoplay feature. So in the past, you could do your run and it would give you the option to save your run. But the problem is it would only save your run if it was faster than the previous run. Now with this latest patch, you can create whatever run you want, and then save that, even if it's slower than your previous run. And there's an autoplay feature where really if you don't want to play, you just want to have it play for you, you can do that. So, and then for the replay feature, you can replay up to 4 times. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to burn any stamina on Pneuma Analysis, but yeah, you can do like 2 times, you know, to use up the 2 free chances for the day. So let's go ahead and do that. Another thing too is that I always try to run 4 characters where their bond level is not 100%. That way I'm maximizing everything in this game, because every time you clear a stage, your character will gain a certain like bond percentage, like maybe like 0.5% or something like that, or 0.2%. I don't know what the calculations are there, but yeah, it's I would highly recommend that you try to put a low rarity character, like a rarity 2 or level rarity 3, in your assist slot. You'll notice that only 3 characters are participating in this match. So for the 4th spot, I have like Sputnik, which is like a rarity 3 character. So that's how I rack up bonds. And all 3 of these characters here, their bond levels are at around like 60% or 80%, trying to get them to like 100% to get the maximum number of orange drops. Now, when you're starting the game, this is kind of not realistic, or when you're in like kind of like the middle route, because middle part of the game, because maybe your main DPS is like 100% bond, but you really need that character in order to clear the stage. So you could just do like your main DPS and then 3 squishy units. Okay, yeah, so you see here I gained 10 of these rainbows, 18 of these thought elements. I'm going to go into the shop right now to go over what to buy with these thought elements. This was actually one of the first questions that my friend Leo, who just started this game maybe like 3 to 4 days ago, asked me. And that was a very good question. I'm so glad he asked me, because I learned a lot, I kind of spend it inefficiently in the beginning. I made the mistake of buying a 5-star Psychube. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's go back. I'm actually going to buy a Psychube from the shop. There's been one Psychube I've been wanting to buy. So as you can see here, you notice how there's like a minus 30%. So basically how this works is that for Psychubes that you haven't bought yet, they will be discounted by 30%, which is very good for new players who desperately want to get 3 6-star Psychubes as quick as possible. 1 for their damage dealer, 1 for their support, and then 1 for their healer. And then once you've bought the Psychubes, then it's the full price 300. So usually what I would recommend is that for these orange orbs, I would buy the Psychubes you haven't bought yet. I know I showed you that I own a Brave New World. I bought a when you are a brand new character in the game, when you progress to a certain part in the story, they will give you a 6-star Psychube selector. I recommended to my friend Leo to get the Brave New World Psychube first, just because it is the most universal Psychube that any character can use, like even your healer, honestly. Because right off the bat, your ultimate might will increase by up to 18%, I believe, when you get her to level 60, and then the ultimate might, and then the bonus ability will increase the next incantation. I think it was day 4 login event reward for me that gave me the selector. Oh, good to know. Thank you so much, Leo, for telling me that. See, that's the sort of thing that I don't quite remember. Yeah, so yeah, Brave New World would be number 1, and then for Hopscotch, I think would be probably a close second. The thing about Hopscotch is that, you know, like I mentioned before, every character comes with 2 skills, which are incantations in this game, and 1 ultimate. You're going to be using up incantations initially to generate 5 Moxie, which is kind of like the energy bar to cast your ultimate at 5 Moxie. So, you know, of course you're going to be damage dealing. You know, you place hopscotch on your main damage dealer. You know, all your incantations are dealing 12% extra damage, and for every enemy defeated, your ultimate your ultimate damage will increase by 4%, and this can stack up to 4 times, so you can get up to 16% ultimate boost. Yeah, I checked in game, it's a day 5 login reward. Okay, got it. Thank you so much, Leo, for checking that. Yeah, so my top 3 universal Psycubes are Brave New World for your main damage dealer or DPS, followed by either Inquisitive Dealer for your healer, because this is the only Psycube, 6-star Psycube that increases your healing, or Hopscotch. Now, for those of you who are playing during Tooth Fairy's banner run, during the event, I'll just kind of, well, I'll show you later, but the current event Psycube that you can buy from the shop is a Psycube that is good for healers. It's not as good as Inquisitive Deer from a healing standpoint, because this one just straight up increases your heals. However, for that Psycube, it increases your HP percent instead of healing done, which is very good for Tooth Fairy, because Tooth Fairy is 2000 HP and a couple defense points squishier than other healers. So yeah, that Psycube Beyond Wonderland, which is the event Psycube, is very good for Tooth Fairy, but also very good if you want like a tanky healer, or if you don't want to spend your rainbow orbs on Inquisitive Deer in the beginning. And then the passive effect is that every time your healer casts a heal, then your healing percent increases. I think base starts with like 3% and it ramps all the way up to like 12% after 4 heals. Yeah, so actually for this event, I would actually say pick up Beyond Wonderland. Your second Psycube will be Hopscotch. So for those of you, you know, you'll probably get Brave New World from the selector, which allows you actually to get another discounted Brave New World down the road if you want. And then the first Psycube you'll actually buy from here would be Hopscotch. Notable mentions would be Thunderous Applause, which is our only critical rate increasing Psycube at the present time. And then Blasphemer of the Night, which encourages you to have a team that casts a bunch of debuffs, whether it be a poison team with Sotheby, or maybe like a mass debuff team like with Diggers. Then a Blasphemer of the Night will allow you to deal extra damage, like just a flat, 12% damage increase from all your incantations. Yeah, so that's going to be for the next limited character, Jessica, which is the main DPS for a poison team. And so Blasphemer of the Night I did pick up. Those were the only Psycubes I picked up. So what is the next Psycube I'm going to pick? I could theoretically pick another Brave New World, or I could save for Gluttonies, where basically in the game you can amplify. So it's like this: you amplify your characters in 2 different ways, or your Psycubes in 2 different ways. You can either use the globes, or the MF amplifications to raise the level cap. That increases this line, and then that red ribbon I just showed you increases this line. You can increase this line, amplification line, by either consuming another copy of this, or for event Psycubes where I don't think you can purchase them in the shop, like Luxurious Leisure or Beyond Wonderland, you're going to use Gluttonies instead. Gluttonies are a very rare resource. I think currently the only ways to get them are from the event or from spending actual money. So gluttonies are very nice to get once you get progress later in the game. And you really, because you realistically only use like up to four Psycubes per match. So in my case, I'm actually thinking about getting her second life, because this one, after the carrier casts the mass ultimate, HP plus X amount for all allies. I'm kind of thinking, now that my character is pretty well developed, if I can I'm thinking about doing like a Circle of Life team, plant team that is able to regen HP, and then I have a character holding second life where every time they cast their ultimate, my characters gain HP. That way I don't even need to run a healer in my party. That's something I'm kind of thinking about doing. I know some content creators are actually using her second life to do some really gimmicky strats, so that is something I'm considering. His Bound in Duty is also a decent Psycube to pick up, just because you get flat damage bonus for each enemy target defeated. Yeah, so this is kind of like hopscotch in that it incentivizes you to defeat the enemy, but every time you defeat the enemy you gain HP. So his Bound in Duty and her second life are different ways to provide self-sustain. In my opinion, I think her second life Psycube is a more flexible self-sustain Psycube, because you're healing the entire party. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to, spend my 210 on this. So I'm going to purchase it right now. Very happy with my purchase. And as you can see now, you can also, of course, pick, if I was to purchase another one of her, now it's 300. Okay, and then another thing I want to mention, so Leo was asking me whether to purchase these 5-star Psycubes or not. I'm of the opinion that right off the bat you'll get a 6-star from the selector. You will get a 6-star Psycube pretty soon with 210. So that just leaves a third Psycube. And if you were to theoretically pick a Brave New World for your selector Psycube, you were to pick Hopscotch for your main DPS, so support Psycube, main DPS Psycube, and then you get Beyond Wonderland from the event shop. Really, like, you don't need to buy these 5-star Psycubes, because pretty soon, within like a couple weeks, you will get a 4th Psycube. Max Yearning is worth considering picking up, though. You're absolutely right. Oh, okay, gotcha. I actually did see a video on this. Okay, fair point, Slump. So if you absolutely want, like, let's say you're starting the game, you really want to unlock Limbo now, you just need more options and everything. Yearning Desire is, if you had to pick, actually, I'm going to recommend 2 5-star Psycubes, okay? There's actually 2, because I did pick up a 5-star Psycube in the beginning. Either do Yearning Desire, where in addition to increasing your incantation might, and mind you, because it's a 5-star Psycube, the stats boost is not as high, but still respectable, maybe like 75% of the value of a 6-star Psycube. Okay, its ability. When the carrier attacks, if the target has a stats down, increases your damage. So this is actually something to consider if you are playing a team that is able to inflict like poison, or if you have like a Bicorn Bloom that can do like a negative status. There's actually a ton of characters that can apply this. So you are absolutely right, Schlump. This is actually a very realistic Psycube that would provide a lot of value by increasing your incantation might, as well as dealing just flat out additional damage. The other 5-star Psycube that I would recommend picking up if you absolutely need another good Psycube, honestly, Footloose is that you get in from the main story is already a very good Psycube, increases ultimate might, so it doesn't have any overlap with Yearning Desires, so that's pretty nice. when the carrier attacks if the target's HP is above 50% increases damage. That's actually really solid. I used Footloose for a time before I fed it to my 6-star Psychube. The other one, the one that I actually bought in the beginning before I realized that my Psycubes weren't leveling up quick, was an Afternoon Nap. And this was because I got the Lilia character from the guaranteed 30 pull 6-star banner. And with Lilia, you really want crit rate. And currently in the game, the only other Psycube that you can get crit rate from, besides Thunderous Applause, is this 5-star Psycube, an Afternoon Nap. So I would say, like Schlump suggested, Maxed Yearning or an Afternoon Nap if you feel like the levels of your Psycubes are okay and you just really need to pick up that extra Psycube and you cannot wait for 210 of these rainbow orbs. I think those are very good options. But in my case, I'm going to go ahead and pick up these Enlightens. I really want to level up my characters. My Psycubes. I'm trying to get my Beyond Wonderland to level 60. So I'll go ahead and show you here. So you just go over here, you click here. So this is the event Psycube that you get for the Tooth Fairy event. Or actually, I think even when Jessica comes out, I think you have maybe another 24 days or so to get this Psycube, which is very realistic. Yes, increases HP, and then like I said, every time... Oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. So after the carrier uses a debuff incantation, which both Sotheby and Tooth Fairy do. I'm sorry, so I misspoke. So it's not when you heal you gain a healing rate boost. It's when you cast a debuff you get a healing rate boost. It can stack up to 4 times. Oh, okay, so... And then also increases the carrier's crit rate by 7%. Makes them kind of like a sub-DPS as well, if you like. So, yeah, with Psycubes, Engrave is how you level them up. So you just basically feed this. Oh, and actually, okay, here's one trick, okay? So we have the weekly reset. There's kind of a bug in this game where if you want to level up your characters your Psycubes 10 times, you literally have to use 10 individual light bulbs. So 1, 2. So it counts as 1 engraving. If I made the mistake of feeding all these light bulbs at once, it only counted as 1 engraving. So that's kind of like a minor strat to do to get the weekly rewards a little bit earlier. So I'm going to do this at least 10 times to get that engraving 10 times, reward. I think that's almost 10. Yeah, sorry for you guys seeing this, but like literally that's what I do. No joke. Okay, I think that's 10, so let me just go ahead and just feed the rest. Okay, so that's that. And then let's go over the event next, because Leo, if I'm not mistaken, that's what you asked about next. So I think we had like 42 days for this event. There's still 30 days left, guys. Plenty of time. Let me go over the shop, like what you should buy first. Now, what I would recommend will actually be slightly different from other content creators, because I'm the guy who feels like passive income is always a very good thing. I think Beyond Wonderland, quite new major mistake. Most people still keep doing, just my opinion. Okay, I gotcha. But okay, so this is my opinion. Do a little research, but this is what I would prioritize if I was free to play. Definitely Psychube first. This over the Unilogs, because Unilogs you can use to like get a free pull. Beyond Wonderland, Psychube, getting a free star Psychube is incredibly valuable for a new player. You have to get this first. Now, for the next thing to get, I am of the opinion you should get the Gold Wilderness next. I know some content creators who will tell you to skip all the Wilderness entirely, but I think you should grab the gold one. Because as a spender, I cannot get enough of these. Like I own every wilderness piece in the game, and so far, as of 2 patches, or 1.5 patches, we only have 2 orange sets and 2 gold sets. So I still have to use my purples, and the gold sets give you 10 vigor per piece. And that could be the difference between placing one extra character to level up their bond, and over time that racks up. So those 2 pieces are the limited pieces that you should get first. I messed up a lot with my shells, wish I could go back in time. It's okay, because there's actually plenty of ways to get shells, so you're fine. Plus, you can get shells from here, and you get a lot of shells from here. Enough, certainly, to buy all the gold, at least the gold building, because I think you need like 1,000 wilderness shells to get the gold building from the general shop, and then maybe like another 680 wilderness shells per gold set. Yeah, so that'll make a big difference. Because think about it this way, like I always, whenever an event comes out, I always get the limited pieces first, right? The things that won't come back, you can only get it in the event. Although some people are saying that the event Psychubes will be entered in the general pool, maybe in like 3 updates. But do you really want to wait like 4 to 5 months to pick up Beyond Wonderland again? Probably not, right? So anyways, after you pick up those 2, then I am of the opinion next to grab all the brief cacophonies and all the moment of dissonances next, because the only way to level up your resonate in this game is to use those. And as a spender who buys everything in the shop, I buy everything, right? Max refresh, all that. My number 1 bottleneck are these. Now, I know free-to-play is a different story, but really, like, you can't farm for these on any stage. Like, you're pretty much at the mercy of how far you can get in Somnambulism, how far you can get in Limbo. Like, really? Cacophonies? Especially cacophonies, grab those. I know some of you free-to-plays have like 100 of these dissonances to get your resonates from level 1 to 4, but to get from 4 to 9, seriously, like I think in the beginning it's like 5 cacophonies, and then 5 cacophonies, then like 6, then 9. It's ridiculous. You're going to need a ton of these. So now, after you get those, then you got some options, okay? If you really want to unlock Limbo quick, then get these high level insight and resonate materials as you raise your characters. Get the unilogs for more pulls if you'd like. Although, yeah, I guess that's probably maybe 3 days worth of, I don't know. Yeah, grab the unilogs, grab any materials that you need to level up your characters. No shame in having some canned screams on the side to, buy whatever you need as you need them. Because remember, this is 30 days. You got plenty of time. Like, I have some canned screams at the ready for if, say, I need like a rough silver ingot, or if I need some spells of banishings. Just have some dry powder ready to pick up some of these polarizations to level up your Psychubes. These are very good to get as well, although I have a ton of these, so that's not a priority for me right now. Okay, so, and then definitely with the events, some events are like training where it doesn't have anything to do with the level of your characters, and these are a great way to get some fantastic rewards, like, clear drops and that sort of thing. Even, yeah, just insight materials, these, oh my goodness, I'm gobbling them all up there. And then, actually, Leo, you, when I think of the question you asked me now, so you asked me, Leo, should I prioritize the event or the main story? And I would say, you know, kind of shuffle back and forth between the two, because you really want to progress as far into the event as possible, but you also want to progress as far into the story as possible. The only thing is that, of course, the main story requires stamina as well. So that's kind of a tricky thing, so just finding that balance there. Though honestly, I think this is a very good problem to have, because you don't want to be in the position like me, where like you've cleared the main story, you've cleared the event, and now what do I do, right? At this point, it's just farming for materials. So I think as a new player at this stage in the game, it's really exciting. It's really exciting. I'd say story so you can unlock the crafting. Agreed. Actually, I agree with you 100%, Schlump. You really should prioritize the main story, but just, you know, keep an eye on the event as well. Cacophonies is the hardest bottleneck in character building. I'd say for super new player, a good option is to buy Sharpodontes, dust, materials to level up a team first. Yes, because Psychubes and shells won't help if your characters are underleveled. Tanisio, that is such good advice. And what Tanisio is talking about here is that, you know, when you do your pulls, which I'll show you in a moment, you can go into the fragment shop, or I'm sorry, the pawn shop, and you have 3 different currencies. You have the orange drops, which you should only spend on summons. Only spend on summons if you're free to play. Because I think I watched like 3 different content creator videos. If you're free to play, you're active, you max clear Limbo every 1st and 16th of each month, and then you know, just do all your dailies and all that and weeklies. You should have enough orange drops for 1 6-star per event, or per, like, you know how there's like a version 1.2 part 1 and part 2. For part 1 you should get enough for a 6-star, and then part 2 you should get enough for a 6-star. So for most free to plays, to guarantee that they will get the 6-star, that limited 6-star that they want, basically you're looking like you're going to miss out on every other character. For those of you free to plays who are watching this, please confirm my statement, but that is what I watched in a latest video, I think from Koki Gotcha, so let me know if that is true. But actually, speaking of the pawn shop, so every time you get a 2-star, 3-star, or 4-star character from your pulls, you're going to get I think about like 8 of these Track of the Losts. So you'll rack these up pretty quick, and then you can use them. I prioritize getting the where are you? The Unilogs first, for sure. Especially if you're free to play. Getting like the dust, the Sharpodontes. Well, actually, maybe not. But get some if you need to. They will help. But probably I would say the priority would be the Unilogs, the polarizations to increase the level cap of your Psychubes. And then after that, you can decide. Soliduses are actually very hard to get. Sorry, I'm just going to make sure I'm not on silent mode, because I do have a cleaning lady coming soon. Oh, sorry, let me text real quick. Thank you. Okay. Oh, okay. I think I might need to call someone back. Darn it, I'm not even done with this video yet. Okay. Well, anyways, priorities would be the Unilogs, and then it's kind of up to you what you want to purchase. Really, like, all of these are useful, so I would just like purchase on an as-needed basis. Oh, and then for the gold logs, sorry, I'm just saying here, it's really hard to say because you really don't get many of these gold cassettes. I would say probably the brief cacophonies are a must. I'm not even sure if these polarizations are a must, because you saw how I have like over 100 of the lower level polarizations, and then you can just like increase. I think the think the cleaning lady might be here. I'll be right back, Monka. I'm so sorry, guys. I'll be right back. Hi, thank you so much for coming. All right, I'm back. Multitasking here. All right, so where was I? Oh yeah, for the gold cassettes, I would say if you're free to play, you're probably going to... So the gold cassettes, the way you get these are by pulling on 5-star and 6-star characters, but you really don't get that much because I think like you only get 3 gold cassettes from pulling a 5-star and maybe 12 gold cassettes pulling from a 6-star. I mean, later on when you get all the 5-stars, like you reach Portrait 5 for one 5-star character, then yeah, you'll start getting 7 gold cassettes. And that's where it really ramps up. But you won't be like that when you're a new player. So I would say like really be stingy with these gold cassettes. I'm of the opinion that you will never regret getting brief cacophonies ever. So get that. I would say, in my opinion, the most worth is getting these and then saving up for a 6-star character. Because 6-star character, if you think about it, that's like 60 pulls. That's like a whole event's worth of clear drops, right? I'm of the opinion that actually just buy brief cacophonies to keep your progress up, because this is bottleneck for spenders. Brief cacophonies, and then save the rest of your gold cassettes for a 6-star that shows up someday. And one of the cool things about this game is that eventually all limited characters will enter the general pool. So it's entirely realistic, perhaps, that you can get like... Actually, I don't know if Pickles will show up in here. But, all the 6-stars in the general pool are viable. So I think it's worth. If there is a 6-star character like Eternity that you want to get like way down the road, then you can save up for that. Okay. So, talked about that. What else is there to talk about? Oh, let's talk about characters. Okay, so, I think that, whatever 6-star you end up pulling, just because Pickles will, but way down the line, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so in terms of characters to build, actually, let me talk about this. So every character, there's like 4 ways really to improve their performance and basically raise them, essentially. You can level them up, which requires dust and sharpodontes. That's the currency in this game. You can resonate them. And for resonates, I don't recommend going above 10 unless they're like your waifu or husbando, because these pieces here are very limited. When you unlock Limbo, you'll accumulate these resources called oneric drops or something like that, and you spend those to get these. I think you spend 1,500 of those to get the caskets that allow you to select one of 4 different of these things. Oneric fluids, thank you. Yeah, so you could theoretically spend the gold cassettes, like 30 of them, to buy the one that you need. But one way or the other, even as a spender like myself, these are a very limited resource. So I would just spend the one to get your character to resonate 10 and then hold off. Resonate is one of the coolest features. It's basically the way you customize your characters. And it's very crucial because each puzzle piece grants like crit rate, crit defense, damage reduction, attack, reality defense, mental defense, HP attack, and etc. So resonates are very important. I think that a lot of people early on in the game neglected this, or even if they were working on it, they didn't really know what the efficient stopping points were. I eventually learned that the stopping points really for new players would be 5, then 7, then 9, and then 10. And actually, if you get 9, you'll probably automatically get 10 pretty easily, because 10 uses completely different resources from resonates 5 through 9. Because you use these sonorous knells, which actually I'm getting to a point where I'm running out of these too, now that I have a bunch of characters at res 10. So yeah, I think actually if you wanted to just really be ready for the future, you could pick up sonorous knells as one of the first things in the event shop as well. But that's not as high of a priority in the beginning. Okay, and then oh yeah, and so if you want to see your stats, you can click on this area here. This will show your base stats as well as the extra stats that you get from like your resonates, I think probably your Psychube, etc, etc. Yeah, insights is another way that you increase the value of your character. Basically what will happen is you'll start off at level 1, you'll increase your character to level 40, and then you'll have a chance to go from Insight 1 to Insight 2, and your level resets. And then after your level resets, then you go from levels 1 through 50, then you Insight 2, and then this will reset your level to 1, but now your max level is 60. In terms of efficiency, the highest you should go is either Insight 2 level 50 or Insight 3 level 30, because the way this game does it is that initially getting levels is cheaper and they add more stats, and as you get higher and higher, each level up takes more resources and gives you less stats per level up. So that's something very much to consider. Yeah. And then there's 4 different Afflatuses in this game. There's Beast, Plant, Star, and Mineral, along with 2 niche Afflatuses, Spirit and Intelligence. For different content in this game, there will be Afflatuses that will be advantageous. And it's kind of like a circle of life, you know, like the beast eats the plants, I guess, hide the stars, I don't know. The stars, you know, cut the minerals, and the minerals, like, hurt the beasts when they step on them. That's the way I remember it, but yeah, circle of life thing. So basically how it works is that, say like the enemy is beast, right? So you would want to run mineral damage dealers and supports and healers as well if you can, to do 30% extra damage to the beast enemies. And the cool thing is that whenever, like in the preview screen before you start the round, you can actually set up your characters beforehand, your party beforehand, to take advantage of the Afflatus weakness, and then do that. So the way it works is that mineral will be advantageous, and then if you don't have enough mineral DPSs, and this is a great example because currently we only have one 5-star/6-star main DPS, and that's Eternity. You can either run Beast, which will be neutral on Beast, or you could run Star, which will also be neutral on Beast. Now, if you have plant units, you could run that too. As a matter of fact, I started doing that sometimes. However, just note that your plant units will take an increased 30% damage from the Beast enemies. So there will be a time where actually you may consider running plant against beast enemies, just because there's so many plant supports. Yeah, that's why I used that example. So for those of you, maybe you're wondering what characters to level up first, I would recommend checking out different content creators. You just get a feel for what each character is capable of doing. The way you would do that is, as you see here, each character comes with 2 incantations, which are basically your skills that generate your Moxie, followed by an ultimate when you generate 5 Moxies. That's kind of like the energy gauge that allows you to cast your ultimates. And there's so many different mechanics in the game, and even individual characters will come with their own kit that makes them interesting, right? And flavor-wise, it's really cool. Like Pickles, which was our limited support character from the previous patch, he's the only character that generates clarified topic. He's a philosopher dog, so he uses clarified topic, it'll explain what it does, and you kind of use that to kind of come up with your playstyle to maximize his contribution to the team. And then this is where you select your Psycubes. This number here means that I amplified the Psycube from amplification 1 to amplification 2, which, as I mentioned before, increases the secondary stats here. And I have amplification 3 on my Hopscotch to increase the ultimate might. So now that we've gone over that, sorting, you can sort by rarity. I would recommend doing that in the beginning of the game, just to see, like, as you're forming your team. like what to select for your team. Typically for a team you would select one damage dealer, one support, and one healer. And then when you reach like certain stages where you actually use 4 characters, then you'll probably have like 2 DPSs, 1 support, 1 healer, or 1 DPS, 2 supports, and 1 healer. So I typically try to build teams that provide the most damage, utility, and all that. But also you can also consider building teams based on their Afflatuses. Now someone asked me if it's worth it to build 4-star characters. I would say that if you absolutely have to go with the 4 stars in the game, in the beginning at least, level up your Apple, level up your Sonetto, and then level up your Eagle, level up your... I think those for sure are the characters that you get in the game, just because the cool thing about this game is that you'll eventually... I'm trying to find where that is. Beginning of the tail. When you start the game, you're going to want to clear all the acts. There's up to 9 acts, and there's different criteria. It doesn't show here, but there is an option to, when you get those 3 characters that I mentioned, Sonetto, Apple, and Eagle, and maybe Lasource, to like an Insight 1 level 30 character. Oh, Leilani too. I'm sorry, Leilani. So not Lasource, Leilani. So thank you, Shlump. So Sonetto, Apple, Leilani, and I already forgot the 4th character. You'll be able to get all those materials that you spent on them back. So definitely worth it to do that. Okay, so yeah, because really, like, if you do all that, then you pretty much have everything you need. Apple is basically like the sub DPS slash healer. Yeah, so that's if you want to make sure that you're maximizing your resources and not spending resources on a 5-star character or 4-star character that will get replaced in like a week or 2. So now I'll go ahead and go over some just how to generate Moxie and that sort of thing. So why don't we do this? Okay, so one cool thing is that if there's ever a resource you need, you can go ahead and click on that, and then this will give you different options with regards to how to get that resource. So you can just like hit go for this to go straight towards the optimal level, the optimal stage to farm that resource. So as you can see, I can spend 25 stamina to get this reward. Okay, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this out because I do want to show you some useful tricks that you can do to maximize your combat experience, get your ultimate up faster. I'm of course always checking to make sure I'm using a character that does not have max bond yet. I think all of these characters do not, so perfect. So just maximizing the run here, and then I have a 3-star there. Okay, so I'll go ahead and run this team.
I can't wait anymore.
Okay, so when the battle begins, it'll kind of give you some sort of bonus abilities or debuffs that happen on this particular stage. So in this case, the enemy, knock to dust it off, reality damage taken plus 30%. I actually don't really know what it means, but yeah, and then to find out, like, you see how these debuffs happen. Okay, so first of all, these things right here are their attack skills, the ones with the sword. And if I was to hold down, it shows kind of like how much HP they have, the skills that they have. Skills, you can level them up to 3 times in your case, and sometimes level up you get different abilities. In this case, this guy just deals more damage. His ultimate silences, so you can read what silence does, cannot buff, debuff, heal, or counter Yeah, so ultimates are very powerful in this game. They can do like different abilities to control the enemy or increase your damage output. Here, Dust Seeker Smell attacks against the enemies with HP below 30% enjoy 15% extra damage dealt. So try to top off your HP in this fight, you know. And then you can kind of toggle back and forth to see what the adds do. Okay, so over here you see these invisible, like shaded or like not filled in bars. So every time, so the way this works is that you'll get 7 cards from the start, assuming you have an assist character as well. And then you can do different things. So you can move, you can cast an incantation to gain 1 Moxie. Or you can merge two of the same incantations together to gain 2 Moxie. And then when you get 5 Moxie in total, you can cast your ultimate. So what I generally like to do is, usually you'll get 2 incantations for every character and 1 bonus incantation. And this is where, you can kind of maximize your damage output by just taking advantage of that situation, merging cards to really get your Moxie up to 5. So I'll go ahead and just do this for now because I want to show you my ultimate. Alright, very cool. So same thing here, I notice I'm getting more duplicates of cards. So every card incantation that comes up afterwards will keep showing up in your hand of incantations until you have your maximum hand size of 7 incantations again. Now every time you get a character who is knocked out, you will have fewer incantations you can hold at any given time. So anyways, nowadays I just like to generate as much Moxie as possible. Fusing 2 of the same incantations together is one of the fastest ways to get Moxie. Oh, and every stage will tell you the amount of waves that will appear. So like this is the first wave of enemies. After I defeat these guys, I will have a second wave, and then the number of rounds. There are certain stages where, especially in Limbo, where you want to complete the stage in X amount of rounds in order to get the maximum stars, get a full clear, we call it. Yeah. So as you can see here, I'm 1 Moxie away from the ultimate and 2 Moxie away from the ultimate here. So I can fuse my Reguluses cards to get 2 Moxie, right? If I don't want her to act yet, but I want to level up, get that ultimate ready for next turn, that's what I'll do. And then, then I would do this and then this. Yeah, to also get A Knight's ultimate up. I'm going to show you something else in this battle. Alright, so now we have our second wave, we got our ultimates up. You can hold down the ultimate if you want to remember how much damage it does. And if you forget what Rousing Morale does, then you can hold down A Knight and it will tell you what Rousing Morale does. Yeah, there's a lot of mechanics and abilities in this game, so I find myself having to reread sometimes, especially if I'm trying out a new character. Now you see this DNA sort of thing. So I forgot to mention this, but every time you cast your actions, or merge cards, or cast your ultimates, you're going to ramp up this resource called Vertin something. I forget what it's called. Vertin something. And with this resource, I can spend them to either level up the incantation level of level up my incantation level, or reshuffle my non-ultimate incantations to get cards that I'm looking for. So I think I have enough to do both. Let's say I have too many heal cards, right? I have 3 healing incantations, and I don't need a heal, right? I hardly took any damage. So I would reshuffle. You'll still keep your ultimates, but now we have brand new cards, and I would say these are even better. And notice how there's these stars here. Sometimes, the random incantation that generates trades with a card that had a high level incantation. And so this is another incentive to merge your cards without your incantations without using them. Because sometimes, you know, when you have incantations level 2 or 3, they have really powerful bonus abilities. Yeah. So that's reshuffling, and then you can also level up your cards. So this DNA thing, you just basically hold down and you can merge it with another 1-star incantation. Timekeeper's Moxie is the name. Just check. Thank you so much, Lump. So the DNA, that number, you're generating Timekeeper's Moxie every time you cast an incantation, merge incantations, caster. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, I think casting ultimate also generates that resource for you. So I have a bunch of different options. I'm actually looking to do heavy damage here. So what I'll do is, let's go ahead and do this. So do that, we'll do this, and then we'll do this.
To be blinded!
His trumpets sound. Judgment Day has come.
Very good. Okay, and then we have an option to overwrite. I'm going to go ahead and overwrite this, and then we got our resources, and we can always go back to the source, which, yeah, so now I can go back to leveling my characters. It's a pretty cool feature in this game. Okay, what else do I want to show you? Now that I've gone over the fundamentals, now that I've mentioned, you know, you want to get through the main story, get through the event, what else can you do? When you get to a certain part of the story, I think either chapter 3 or 4, maybe even chapter 2, I don't remember quite exactly, you can go to artificial somnambulism. And actually, this is a perfect example. So at the start of each week, which would in this case be Monday, you generate these valuable resources. This is the incentive to getting as far into somnambulism as possible, because you get these oneric fluids, which are the best way, it's the only way actually, to get the caskets to resonate 10 characters. And additionally, you get these dissonances, which are necessary to resonate 2 through 4 your characters. Very important resource that as a spender like myself, I cannot get enough of these, honestly. And here you have an exam score, right? So there's 10 stages in somnambulism, and as you progress through somnambulism, you gain stars based on your performance. I think you get like extra stars if you clear within the number of rounds to get that additional star. And you can get up to 100 stars, and the cool thing is that you only need to clear somnambulism once, and then afterwards, every Monday, you know, passive income, you can get the max number of rewards. So let me go ahead and collect that. All right, and then when you get here, you know, you got somnambulism, which, let me see how you get there. How do you get into, oh, okay, so you click here, and then you have so this is Limbo, but I'll go ahead and, oh yeah, you click this arrow right here. So basically you'll have 10 of these levels, and you want to clear all 10 in order to unlock somnambulism. And realistically, if we look at the stage here, these enemies are inside 2 level 45. So basically, I think the initial goal is to develop 2 teams that are able to, that are inside 2 level 45. Actually, in my case, I cleared this level 10 final stage with inside 2 level 30 resonate 7 characters. I think that would be kind of the benchmark I would recommend to really clear this. I still ran into trouble even at that. Like it's pretty tough, pretty challenging. It makes for very good endgame content. You don't need to spend stamina on this, so you can, you know, attempt this as many times as you want. Yeah. So the thing about the last two stages, if memory serves me right, I think for stage 9 of Somnambulism, you get to keep one character. You keep two characters. Like, okay, it's like this. There's like it's like side 1, side 2 kind of thing, and you kind of alternate. I think there's 5 stages per Somnambulism, and then basically whatever characters you used in round 1, you select 2 characters you want to use for round 2, and the other 2 characters you can't start using again until side 3. So yeah, that's something. So as eventually, so starting out, you want to build a DPS, a support, and a healer. Really focus hard on that. That way you get through the main story and the event. And then as you pull more characters, you'll probably pull more characters that you want to build, and then you just basically build a second DPS, a second support, a second healer, because eventually when you get to the final Somnambulism stage, whatever you use on round 1, you cannot use on round 2. Yeah. So that's, I should mention. And then, so now for the Limbo stages, there's Limbos 1 through 5. These reset on the 1st and 16th of every month, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I know it for a fact, but let me see. Okay, it doesn't state here, but yeah, it resets the 1st and 16th of every month. And then every time you clear a limbo, you get these really awesome rewards. You get orange drops. You can get basically a maximum of 600 orange drops, which is basically like 4 pulls maybe. It's not a lot, but I mean, as a free-to-play, it makes a difference. And for me, the most value, of course, is the orange drops and the oneric fluids. You get a lot of these oneric fluids. If you max clear Limbo 1 through 6, max stars, then you get, by my calculation, 2,160 of these oneric fluids. And the oneric fluids, I'll show you the shop where you spend these. Sorry, let me back out. I'll go ahead and tell you what you would spend these on. Okay. So, yeah, oneric shop. So what do you buy? Initially, I would say buy out the brief cacophonies. Buy out the brief cacophonies. Buy at least 1 crystal casket. You can buy up to 2. I already bought 1. I might buy a second, actually, because... Well, actually, I can't, because the Limbo resets on the 1st. But, these are necessary to res 10 your characters. Yeah, buy out all the dissonances, which I'll actually do right now since I can't buy that. I'm surprised I didn't buy that yet. All of the dissonances, all the cacophonies, buy all the nulls. Yeah. I would say in order of priority, 1 casket, followed by all the brief cacophonies, then all the moment of dissonances, and if you have any left over, buy maybe like 2 of these sonorous nulls. You could also buy 2 caskets. There is a very strong argument for that. Yeah, but I mean, it takes so much resources to res 10 your characters. I think it's perfectly fine just to pick up 1, because res 10ing your characters is really expensive. I haven't res 10'd all my 6 stars yet, so it's very valuable. Okay, so what else can I talk about? Oh, let me talk about summons next. This is actually quite important. Alright, so summons. So there's there's 2 limited banners and 1 general banner. And if you're a brand new player, there's 1 additional banner that I don't have right now, where you can just do 30 summons and guarantee a 6-star. And those 6 stars that are available, Regulus, Eternity, and Lilia, they are all damage dealers, so keep that in mind. In 30 pulls, you are guaranteed a damage dealer. So I would say that if you're trying to build a team, getting a support or healer is going to be very good. Currently, for the 5-star and 6-star healers, we only have up until this point five healers that are within the 5-star and 6-star categories. So every time you see a healer like Sotheby in the past, or Tooth Fairy as we see here, I would say they are a very good priority, very high priority to pick. Tooth Fairy especially, since she is an offensive healer that can help your team crit more, which allows you to do more damage. And then her heals are very good. She has an insight that allows her to heal your party passively without spending incantations. You can actually scout ahead as to what limited characters are being released in CN. I think in CN right now they are on version 1.5. They're about to enter their second half of that patch, and they haven't released another 5-star or 6-star healer since. So I think for those of you who are kind of, debating whether or not you want to join this game, I recommend, just downloading the game, give it a try, at least enjoy the story, right? And then you can decide whether you want to stick around. Try to pull a Tooth Fairy. My friend who joined the game, he re-rolled a couple times, failed the 50-50 on Medicine Pocket, which is one 6-star healer, and then he got Tooth Fairy. So now he has 2 of the best 6-star healers in the game. So that's one. That's what I would recommend. Try to get Tooth Fairy if you can. And then, as you can see here, we have one limited character who is typically featured in the event. Right now we're on Nightmare at Green Lake, so we have special characters accompanying the 6-star limited character. Additionally, every, I want to say like 14 days, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's 14 days or maybe something around those lines, one of the general characters from the general pool will have a rate up, meaning that if you pull and you get a 6-star, half of the time it will be this featured character, which in this case will be Voyager. As you can see, in 14 hours, this banner will be replaced by another general character. I believe the next one, I'm not sure if it's confirmed yet, but I believe it's Eternity. At least one content creator, Jackson, already stated that. So I think Eternity is the next banner to replace Voyager. For those of you who are watching this today, Eternity is the only mineral DPS in the 5-star and 6-star category until we reach the second part of version 1.3, which I believe it begins January 18th, if memory serves me right. And that's when you get the mineral DPS Black Dwarf, like you could. Although I think we're getting Shamane first, so I don't think we'll get another 5-star or 6-star mineral DPS until February next year. So Eternity, when she comes up, she is worth pulling. And one thing we did confirm is that whatever pulls that you pull on this banner, the pity is shared with this banner. And the way the pity system works, and what I love about this game, is that pity is lower on this game compared to other gacha games like Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact. So if we go over the rate details here, it explains, or it should explain, that the soft pity and hard pity. So in case you're curious, yeah, you have a 1.5% chance of getting a 6-star and an 8.5% chance of getting a 5-star. So those are the rates, and typically you want to go for a 6-star or 5-star. Actually it mentions an overall rate including guarantee. Oh, okay, yeah. So let's see here. Yeah, so in this limited banner, if you have not obtained any 6-star characters by the time you've performed 60 consecutive summons, just basically 60 summons, that's how you rack up your pity, quote unquote. The rate of summoning a 6-star character in the next summon will rise from 1.5% to 4%. And then after that, every summon that doesn't guarantee a 6-star character will increase by a rate of 2.5%. So this is what we call soft pity, because once you reach 60 pulls, if you still haven't gotten a 6-star character yet, it will dramatically increase your pulls for each subsequent pull until you get your 6-star. Yeah. And then here it says every 70 summons guarantees a 6-star character. That's pretty generous, considering that, like with Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact, the pity is actually 90 in order to get a 6-star or 5-star character there. So I would say this game is very generous when it comes to, or more generous when it comes to getting the 6-star characters, but it is pretty, I think raising characters it takes longer in this game. Yeah. Okay, so I think we talked about that. So what else is there to talk about? For those of you watching, is there anything else we could talk about? I think that might be it. Yeah, I think that's about it. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. The pool price is 180 instead of 160, and I don't know how much it costs in... Oh yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Thank you, Leo. Yeah, so actually I guess it kind of evens out, huh? Yeah, it does even out. I'll add kind of a note on the side there for the video. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope if you are watching and you're considering Reverse 1999 to give it a try. It's pretty fun. I think it's more of a casual game right now because stamina depletes pretty quick and we don't have enough endgame content besides Limbo or the events to really do more once we run out of stamina. But this game is really fun. I love the story, love the artwork, the music. It's a great game. I really enjoy it. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye. Oh, I didn't even record. Monka. Wow. Okay, anyways. I might need to redo this video. I don't know. Anyways, I guess I could download the stream and kind of crop it and everything.